So, you teach beginning readers, you know the importance of giving them decodable text to practice the phonics patterns that you've taught them. But there's a lot more we can do with decodable books, and we don't always think about it. Today I'm going to show you how to use a decodable book for not just decoding, but also building comprehension. My name is Anna Geiger. I'm the author of Reach All Readers, host of the Reach All Readers podcast, and creator of the Reach All Readers Plus membership. And it's my mission to help K to third grade teachers bridge the gap between what we know from research and what we do in our classrooms every day. Let's take a look at the decodable book, The Fin. This is a book from my website. You can actually download the decodable books for free. If you'd like to get additional resources, including lesson plans and comprehension activities, you can purchase those in addition to the decodable stories. But let's take a look at the first book. So here's the book, The Fin. It's only the 8th book in our series, so the text is very simple. Students only know a handful of letters and a couple of short vowels. So here's the story, The Fin. Sam and Pam sit in a pit. It is a fin. It is a big fin. Sam jabs Pam in the ribs. It is a fin. It is a fat fin. It is bad. The fin is on Jim. Jim taps the fin. Sam and Pam are mad at Jim. So before the students actually read a single word of this book, I want to pre-teach a Tier 2 vocabulary word connected to the story. You can think of your own, or you can use the one included in my lesson plan, which is the word terrified. So I would tell my students, today we're going to talk about the word terrified. Say the word terrified. Terrified means that you're very, very afraid of something. Let's take a look at the cover of this book. In this story, Sam and Pam are terrified. Why do you think they're terrified in this book? After I have students read the story, we can talk together about meanings of CVC words in the book. We can talk about the word jab and what that means. That may be a word they don't use very often. We can talk about how it could be jabbing with your elbow or even a punch like this. We can also talk about other words in the story that have multiple meanings, like the word tap and the word pit. So when we look at the word tap, we know there are at least 3 definitions of tap, maybe 4. We can talk about tapping something gently, tapping on a screen. We can talk about the tap in your bathroom or your kitchen, or even tap dancing. When we talk about the word pit, in the story, it's about a deep hole, but it can also mean this big seed in a peach, for example. Or a person might say, I have a bad feeling deep in the pit of my stomach. In that case, we're talking about a heavy, uncomfortable feeling. We might talk about what might cause us to have that deep pit in our stomach. After students read the text, I want to ask a combination of literal questions and higher level questions that will require some inferring. Questions like, where are Sam and Pam? How do you know? What does Sam see out in the water? We can ask inferring questions like, how do you think Sam is feeling on this page? How can you tell? Why does Sam jab Pam in the ribs? Does Sam and Pam have a reason to be terrified? Why or why not? Do you think this was a good joke that Jim played? Do you think that Sam and Pam had a right to be angry with him? Why or why not? You can also choose a sentence from the decodable text to build language comprehension. I like to use them to build syntactical awareness. So for example, we could go to this sentence right here, and we could have students read the sentence with us. Sam and Pam sit in a pit. Looking at this sentence, who is the sentence about? And together we could find Sam and Pam. Which one word tells us what they are doing? Yes, the word sit. And which words tell us where they're sitting? That's right, in a pit. You could do the same thing with this sentence. Sam jabs Pam in the ribs. Who is this sentence about? We would talk about how it's about Sam because his name comes here at the beginning. What's the one word that tells what Sam is doing? That's right, jabs. Who is Sam jabbing? Pam. And what words tell us where he is jabbing her? In the ribs. This understanding of how words work together in sentences can be taught with a very simple decodable text. You could also have students go a bit deeper by working with sentence starters and conjunctions. You might be familiar with because, but, so, which is an idea from the writing revolution, and it's intended mainly to start a little bit further on, but even kindergartners can do this with your support. Even if you have to actually complete the sentence for them, they can still say it with you after and practice saying it to a partner. So a good sentence starter for this book might be, Sam and Pam are terrified because... Well, they're terrified because they see a shark's fin in the water. So after you say it together, they can say it to a partner. Sam and Pam are terrified, but they don't really need to be afraid. Or, but it's just Jim disguised as a shark. And finally, Sam and Pam are terrified, so they run away from the water. Or so they get angry when it turns out it's just a joke. Of course, you should also have students retell the events of the story. In all of my lesson plans for my decodable text, I include a series of pictures that students can put in order. When they're younger, they can simply retell the story to a partner, but as they get further along, they can also write about each of those events. I hope this quick video has shown you how you can get so much more out of a decodable book than just the decoding. We can also build comprehension through simple questioning, through vocabulary work, through sentence work, and through sentence completion. Not to mention putting events in order and retelling the story. If you'd like to learn more about how to boost your phonics instruction, you're invited to my Invigorate Your Phonics Instruction Challenge. There you'll get access to 5 quick videos where you can learn practical strategies to invigorate phonics instruction, along with printable resources that you can use and daily challenges with personal feedback from me. You can learn more and register using the link below this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.